do all the rear suspension parts, starting with the anti-roll bar. We've got some competitor stuff here. We're not going to say who it is because we're going to be courteous about it. Dave, what do we got?
This is Team Z anti-roll bar. Ours is the one with the hammer tone finish. We use an 1.25" heavy wall main body bar, 4130. Our arms are 3/16 laser cut, 4130. The whole construction is TIG welded. If you look at ours compared to the competitors, which is priced a little bit higher, our arms are 30% thicker, and you can just see generally that it's a heavier, dutier, stronger piece.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is like 1/8" material here,
yes,
isn't it?
That's
okay.
1/8". I don't know what material it is. I can't speak for the competitor, but yeah, it's definitely 30% thinner than what we use.
Now I see there are adjusters around,
yes.
around stock.
Round stock aluminum, where we use a hex stock steel. Definitely a stronger piece. If you look at the Heim joints, ours are a little bit beefier. You know, we always try to give our customers the best value.
Got it. Now I noticed on your upper arms, this is the competitors, they didn't notch it like, well, they didn't radius it like yours because, and I've run into this doing guys' cars, you got to sit there with a grinder to radius it to make it fit a 9" fork.
Little bit of afterthought, you know, or a little bit of forethought, we decided we'd start radiusing them. You know, we do install what we sell. Whenever we see a chance to improve a part, we do. And we seen a need to radius our parts because when you try to bolt them into a 9", the corners tend to hit the housing itself and bind up.
Well, and honestly, who wants to spend a couple $100 worth of their hard-earned money and then have to go grinding on a finish?
Exactly.
I mean, to me, that's a plus.
Yeah.
And you guys still use the FK Heim joints?
Yep. And you can see the difference in the Heim. You know, they use what's considered an economy Heim joint, plated steel, where ours is 100% chrome moly. It's got a Kevlar nylon race, aluminum bushings. Actually, they use a 12mm bolt. We upgrade to the 1/2" bolt.
Right.
For strength. You know, at no cost. They charge for the upgrade to the 1/2" bolt. We don't.
Do they really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's like nothing.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Your lower trailing arms, this is your competitors, this is yours.
Right.
Now I see here you have different types of lowers.
Correct.
So we're gonna go through them one by one and just make it easier on everybody.
Okay.
How's that? You cool with that?
That's fine.
Okay. Now, do you know what theirs is made of? Their bar looks pretty beefy, but it's really light.
Yes, it's supposed to be a 4130 control arm. Yes, it is very beefy. We went to a smaller diameter bar, one for tire clearance. And like I said, we build race cars. When we build a 2,000 horsepower Pro Mod or Outlaw Drag radial car, we use this bar diameter for the 4-link bars. I mean, there's no need to overkill it with a big bar when that bar is a little bit smaller,
right,
but definitely stronger.
Now, this is your sway bar mount, correct?
Yes, that's for, there's a lot of classes out there that don't allow an anti-roll bar. You have to run stock suspension and you have to hook up a rear factory sway bar, so we make these for the racers with a sway bar mount.
And if a guy wants to keep it like that on the street, he doesn't have to go welding on his brand new bar.
Correct.
Because I have seen that also.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I see here you've got one that's offset. What's the reason for that?
Tire clearance, again, when you mini tub your car, you know, there's no need for the spring to go on the perch anymore. We remove the spring, we offset the bar to one side, we move it in so that there's more tire clearance.
Got you. So if a guy calls you up and says, I just want a standard bar, I don't want nothing crazy, I don't need all the wacky adjustments that a drag racer or a street racer would use, not promoting street racing, but we all know they're out there, it's the nasty secret. What would the guy get?
The guy would get this arm right here. 4130 chrome moly welded bung, chrome moly Heim, Kevlar nylon race, automatically 1/2" bolts, no matter what. You know, it's a bigger bolt, a stronger bolt. The competitor uses an aluminum bushing back there, which can deflect. Well, we use a steel bushing that will not deflect.
Got you. Now, we're gonna step up. Guy's got not a crazy, not one of these rocket ships that you guys are building. He's got a decent, probably 600-700 horse street car. He's got the stock rear suspension pretty much in it. He wants to upgrade. He's not gonna get the stuff that the average guy's gonna get. What would he get?
I'd recommend, you know, a bar like this, you know, if they're gonna run it on the street and attach their factory sway bar so that they can take turns and not have the car do funny things, they'd get this. It's got a double adjuster, so it makes life a whole lot easier when you're centering the wheels and doing alignments.
Right.
You don't have to unbolt the arm, you just loosen the 2 jam nuts and you can lengthen or shorten the arm to get the
Okay.
desired effect.
Cool. All right, so what's this here?
That is our own unique design of an upper control arm. The geometry on the stock suspension Mustang
Okay.
is basically, it was designed kind of like a parallel four-link.
Right.
There is no intersect point on it. Either it's behind the car or there isn't one. So we correct the geometry. The geometry on the stock Mustang is basically designed to take the kids to daycare, go
Right.
get groceries. It wasn't made to make 8, 9, 10-second passes down the quarter mile. So I designed this part probably about 10 or 12 years ago when I was working in my garage for street racers here in Detroit to help them hook up on the street. And, you know, the NMRA was formed about 10 years ago. And, you know, a couple of my friends were running in drag radio, which is a tire limited class. And we put these on, and these things set a whole lot of records in a lot of classes, stock suspension classes in the NMRA.
So how does this, okay, what's the top, what's the bottom? I mean, how's it?
Okay.
Because I've never seen this,
Yeah,
so I'm curious now.
We'll do an install on this. The actual 8.8 has some ears in the top of the
Right, for the top bushings,
and
right.
these bushings here bolt in to that. This piece separates in the middle and it bolts into the 8.8, and then it all goes together. These, of course, mount to your chassis, and it relocates the pickup points on the rear end.
Wow.
And it moves the instant center out forward of the car, and it lets the instant center points intersect.
That's awesome. I've never seen this.
Actually, there's a couple people out there trying to copy it, but the part is patented, so
Really?
yeah.
That's impressive. Now, these bushings obviously take the place of your uppers.
Right. These are for the upper control arm bushing in the 8.8 or the 9-inch. And, you know, it basically goes in there like that.
Right.
Replaces the urethane bushing or the factory rubber bushing, give it something a little bit more solid and a little bit more free. It'll allow the suspension to articulate.
Got you. What are these for?
Those are braces for this. For that
okay.
upper kit.
So now, I buy a bunch of parts. I got a street car. I call up Team Z and I go, this is what I want. Is there a tech department? Who do I talk to? Are you the tech department?
I'm the tech department.
Are the guys back there picking their noses the tech department? What's going on?
Nope, the guys back there are building cars like they always do.
Okay.
And I'm the tech department. I'm the guy who's track support. You know, if you go to a race, 9 times out of 10 I'm there. If you have my parts on the car, I have no problem lending a hand at the track.
Wow. So not only is the owner of this dump, I call it a dump in a loving term, but he's also the guy that you find at the track, and he's the tech department. Dave, that's pretty impressive stuff. So now we're going to install this stuff on a car, correct?
Correct.
Well, let's go get dirty.
All right.
Let's go. It's awesome.